We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
We're back on our podcast shit. We're back on our podcast shit. This is surreal. It took the world ending for us to get back to this shit. No, it's cool. It's our TV show's been going great. It's different obviously because it's on TV. You know, we're not as vulgar, so you'll get some vulgar tonight, which is unacceptable. I know, you're right. But Zamora messaged me this week. We've been obviously keeping in contact throughout this this giant pause button we call Earth. Yeah, we had to talk about this. We had to get together at least once or twice now during this thing, or probably a couple times if we're even allowed to see each other next month. But we definitely had to talk about this, and we're gonna talk about it. So, where do we start? Like, the whole world's on pause right now.
Okay, we'll talk about coronavirus first of all. It's crazy. Like the way things have progressed in like literally the last 2 weeks, unbelievable. And this is my marker for understanding how fucked up it's been. So I had the gallery exhibit on March 9th. Right? So
even that exhibit might have been the problem. Like, looking back now. I mean, everyone's fine.
But here's the thing. Right?
That would have been considered a problem.
So it was my surprise birthday on the weekend. Then it was the elevated exhibit on the 9th. It was my birthday on the Tuesday.
10th. And
people were like, yo, what are you doing for your birthday? And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything during the week. Like, if anything, I'll go to a bar on Friday or Saturday. Yeah. That's what I was telling people when they asked me.
Man, did you make it?
Thursday comes, and literally it's like, yo, we're locking everything down. Like, no one's going out, no one's doing none of this. And I was in the span of 2 days. It took 2 days for everyone on this side of the world to be like, yo, this is a problem. Like, we're not doing nothing.
Nothing.
So I was like, okay, bet. So the weekend goes. I'm like, all right, like this is getting a little crazy. I was teaching at the boxing gym the Monday morning at like 7 a.m. And I remember going in there. Only like 10 people showed up. But I remember getting there and I'm like, should I even be teaching today? Like, I'm like, something doesn't...
Like, it felt eerie.
Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't feel right to be teaching right now. And then that was last week. So the week happened. As the week progresses, things just got progressively more and more serious. So I was like, wow, okay. Things are about to change, like for good.
Not about to. They done changed.
Yeah.
This is the thing. So I'm a realist, not an optimist.
Yeah.
I get flack for it all the time from people like, oh, you're so harsh, you're cold, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I don't give a shit. Facts are facts. And without being, super, Debbie Downer or whatever, if we're being as rational as possible right now, because I love rationality and numbers. Have you heard what's happening in Italy? Yeah. The body's like 600, 700, 900 per day.
Yeah, I got very interesting thing.
Granted, they're old, but it's still bodies, which is one thing. India has been shut down. China obviously doing their thing. We just made, an order to shut down everything for the 2 weeks right now. Malls, stores, blah, blah. So we actually haven't even had, like, our wave yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're still letting people back home right now. As they said they shut down some flights coming back home, but some flights are still coming back, people from abroad. So people still need to come back home. People still aren't listening. People are still out. People are still jogging in groups, partying, whatever. Stuff's still happening. So there's a next wave that's going to come at some point that's going to hit. And people are not going to take it serious until bodies really start happening in Toronto. Yeah. People, like, we live in a society where it's like, because the news and media and the world is so accessible, like, online, you see people dying in places or fires or tornadoes. You're like, oh, that's there. Like, you feel for it, but you're like, oh, wow, it's crazy. for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not until stuff really hit people that they really believe it. And because in Canada, like, you know, couple cases here, couple cases here, people recover. Like, people still aren't like, it's serious yet. But I think when actual number, I hope it doesn't happen, but I think it's not going to be until actual numbers start showing up here that people are like, oh, now I really shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's interesting because if I think those people are just choosing to be like willingly ignorant, and
that's a large group of people.
And I believe that though, because if you look at what's gone on in the world, the reason why our numbers don't look insane is because the testing hasn't been done yet.
We're not testing.
Yeah, we haven't been able to test people at the rate that we need to because there's not enough kits available, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, I know for a fact that a lot of people either already had the virus, have it right now, or don't know that they have it, and are just showing no symptoms whatsoever, right? Or they're not even affected by it the way that some people are. So I'm sure if you tested 1,000 people right now, I would, in my opinion, I think at least 600 to 700 people have it.
Out of 1,000?
Yes.
You think in Toronto, a population of...
If we did Toronto, 100%.
Out of 1,000 people, 60% have it.
I think 60% have it.
Those are the numbers.
Yeah, that's what I truthfully believe, especially with people that just came back from March break, right? So my biggest problem with it, with everything around the virus, is not just how it's disrupting daily life. It's the fact that I'm beginning to be a little bit more happy with how our government, and by our I mean Canada, not the States, but I like how they're starting to react a little bit more to the situation. But I don't like how everyone had the playbook. Like we saw what was going on in China. We watched it happen, and we watched China basically say, yo, we're locking everything down. You can't go anywhere in the city without having a temperature taken. If we find that your temperature is too high, you're going to a fever clinic, and we're going to test you there for another thing. And if we find out you're contagious, you're not going home. Yeah, right. Like,
there's no home isolation. You're by yourself.
Like we're sending you to this hotel, and you're gonna chill out for like the next 14 days, and we'll take care of you. Because home isolation makes no sense.
You spread it to your house.
Unless you're living by yourself. It makes zero sense. It makes, like, what am I going to do? Send you home to your family, to your kids?
Because they're immune.
Okay, so...
You go home to your kids because they're immune.
Yeah.
And your wife's immune.
So there's that. And then the next thing is just seeing... Literally how I talked about the span of the 2 weeks. I remember 2 weeks ago when the American government and the media and, like, Trump were basically saying this is just their next hoax. He's like, this is the next hoax coming out of China. Like, it's...
Yeah, but you can't listen to that guy.
But it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and then 2 days later, they're like, yeah, this is serious. I was like, no,
it's been serious.
It's been serious. You know that this has been going on. So to not have... Like, I don't have all the answers, so maybe I sound kind of like a jackass with this opinion, but to see that this is happening in another global superpower, and then to not take the proper precautions to be like, you know what? Maybe we should get testing kits ready.
You really believe you're untouchable. That's all it comes down to.
It's like, maybe we should get this stuff ready just so that when it does come here, I was going to say if, but
no, it's coming.
Yeah, when it is here, like, maybe we're prepared to actually test people. You know, like, they shouldn't have to.
We're playing catch up right now.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to pressure people. And that's what's upsetting to me, because... And the thing is, our governments are different, right? So China, like, I might upset some people with saying this, it's a communist country. It's a communist government. So the government can literally tell their citizens, yo, go build this hospital in 7 days. That would never happen here.
It needs to be built.
They can afford to literally say, yo, you're not going home. Like, I don't care if you're going to the grocery store. I'm going to test you.
Yeah.
You put the thermometer in your mouth real quick.
There is no no.
There's no no.
Yeah.
So I understand there are a lot of downfalls to that government. I mean, to that style of government. And I'm definitely not saying we should have that here. But, you know, you brought up the other day on your feed about martial law, right? And the thing is, I wouldn't like. Could you even blame? Could you even
You
blame the
can't,
government if
bro.
they're just like, you know what, you
I
guys
don't
are children. Like we're
trust
gonna
me.
have people pawn road to make sure you guys stay where you're supposed to stay.
Trust me. I don't want it. I don't believe in martial law because it really poses a strong government power over our rights. But we are literally forcing their hand, right? And it's almost sickening because like I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I am aware of the things that do go on with the higher powers that we don't know about in terms of certain things. Like I might not know what's happening, but I know there are things that exist beyond our understanding, right? And they like without an excuse, you can't just impose martial law on a state like ours,
Yeah.
right? We like for that to work, they need an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just like they can't just like if there was no virus, they couldn't just be like as of tomorrow, the army's here. Like
Yeah.
people are like, what?
The
Like
thing is, though, like I don't think, I believe our government in particular, maybe in the States it would be like this, but they don't, our style of government and the Western world of thinking, they don't gain anything by all of a sudden imposing martial law on a group of people that have had a certain style of like democracy and all this stuff for years. Whereas in China, it was how it was is how it's always been.
right.
So you talk to people from China, they're like, this isn't that bad. Like
Yeah.
they don't see anything wrong with it. Whereas us, if the government tomorrow was just like, yo, martial law is in effect, everyone would be like, what the hell?
There'd be riots.
But chances are we'd probably lose if the government was like really serious about that life.
Of course
You know
we'll
what I
lose.
mean?
There is no winning against that. It's just
Right.
it just becomes riots and crime, right?
Yeah, so-
It's a ripple effect.
So it's interesting. You got people in the States, like, for example, the people who are pro gun, they're like, one of their arguments to having their guns is in case something like martial law happens, right? Where they can uprise. And that's what the Second Amendment was put in place for all those years ago, like, hundreds of years ago. But I think people are still like willfully ignorant and thinking that just because you guys have your little guns, it's going to make a difference. Like, I guess
Their guns are bigger, man.
an army. So,
yeah, it's creepily surreal. But what I wanted to touch on real quick earlier was the realism of it. Like this is give or take the second official week of this really going on. Like people really
yeah,
take it
for
serious.
us, yeah.
For us. It is March 25th today. Okay, so this is the second week of it. They just started a 2-week thing as of today. Okay, so 2 weeks from today brings us to mid-April.
Yeah.
Mid-April, which they already said they're going to bring back kids back to school on April 6th, which they now say is not happening.
Yeah, of course not.
Okay, so schools aren't coming back to April 6th. So kids are not coming back to school until April 6th. So that's realistically, that pushes you to now end of April. Okay, we still haven't got a wave of anything really yet.
Yeah.
Which means they're gonna watch and see what happens when this 2-week thing, see what happens from that. Okay, cool. But even if you have to remember, like them making these rules are so they can prevent new cases.
Yeah.
Right. But every single case has a 14-day window prior and potentially 14-day of recovery, depending on what it is, or 7-day or whatever it is. Give or take estimate, each person that gets sick has a month window of freeze time, right? Which means as long as there's a new case based on this statistic, it will push everything another month. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
if
like
there's enough people,
if there's enough and people aren't getting it at the same time, so if 500 people have it, but they all start at different times of the month, that just pushes the gap of a month even further every time a new group of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we're realistically looking at numbers, we have to hope no one gets a case at all in like May. Because if someone new, or it doesn't have to be one person, but like if, it might even have to be one person, but like if any groups of people get new cases in May, that's going to June. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
if the numbers are large enough, people it's gonna continue holding it back. Yeah.
They're not gonna take the risk of letting people back into work while they're still dealing with this case.
Yeah.
Because one, that goes against the whole point of shutting things down. While you can start releasing people in slowly, like let's get back in. Like, what was the point of stopping it then?
Yeah.
So they're really going to be extra careful and extra sensitive about it. They're going to realistically probably wait until there are literally very minimal to no cases.
Yeah.
For that to happen, that is a month gap for any new cases.
Yeah.
So just take whatever date that is and push it a month. So like that can literally bring us to June, July.
Yeah.
And there's a new case in July. New cases in July. We're in August. Like that's just what's going to happen. So it's not a matter of if people run out of money, it's when. And then the issue is, I've been seeing on Twitter and whatever, and Instagram, people saying they're not going to pay rent. Okay, sir, you don't pay rent this month. They're doing deferrals. Okay, cool. Deferral doesn't mean it goes away. So if all these people are not paying rent, the people that owe rent, they're not paying their mortgages or whatever. It just gets back to the enroll, but the money doesn't go away. You still
like there's a lot of things that still need to happen in that regard. Like I know the government announced like the mortgage freeze, but the problem is it's like two-sided. It's okay, so you freeze the mortgages, but what about renters? What do they do? Because I know for a fact now that this benefit fund has been announced, depending on because okay, first of all, you're gonna have a conversation with your landlord to figure out where their head is at, because for a fact there's a bunch of landlords out there. They're like,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care. Where's my money? Like,
but Trudeau said, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, where's my money?
But Trudeau said, and you know what happens with that discussion? Infighting. Now you are fighting with your landlord, which even if this recovers, that relationship's done. Yeah, you're out.
The relationship's not a problem. But see, but this is where it creates a lot of issues, right? Because I'm not speaking for people like you and me, but the reality is when it comes to like rental, unless you're like literally a terrible renter, the courts are pretty much, they've switched up now to be on the side of the renter, not the landlord.
Like you can't be evicted.
Yeah, so you should have can't be evicted, and in this situation, no court is gonna be like, evict him because he's not working. But you're right, unless something.
But the relationship is gonna get damaged. It's more than just getting evicted. It's sure, whenever this is done, get your stuff. Like you know, like it's a temporary.
It creates a lot of problems will be created for the future. I was saying earlier to Jamie that it's like, I'm like, I haven't had a conversation with Ted, like the landlord, at all. Right? Now, granted, my landlord...
Everybody knows rent's due.
Yeah, my landlord, like, I know I'm going to be fine this month, for the next month, sorry. But, like, my landlord and his wife, they're old as hell. So I'm like, there's no way this man's coming downtown. He lives in Clarkson. No way he's leaving. He's not risking it. But it's weird to me that...
There's no conversations.
There's none. And I know that this...
It's like this awkwardly silent moment, right? Like, everyone knows... Like, everybody knows rent's due.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like you don't know my job situation, right? Like, your landlord always knows.
They know.
They know if you're making money, like how you're getting it, whatever it is. So they know that there's a global pandemic that's causing people to say, no one can work.
Fam, I literally feel like all landlords right now are fucking gambling. Like, they're really just like, if I don't say anything. But then the tenant's like, if I don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's going, like, come April 1st, you're going to see who really wins this fucking chicken game. Because someone is going to move.
Like, you know what's going to happen?
Someone's got to move.
So what's going to happen? Like, I'll speak in my case, right? Yeah. Nothing has been said. Like, me and the landlord have spoken, like, not one word about this virus.
Like, he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. I know that April 1st is going to come. I'm going to pay the rent.
I'm paying my rent.
Yeah,
too.
I'm pay the rent. But I feel like when I pay the rent, I'm going to have to say something.
Yeah. Why you have it? So listen.
So
hold on. Before I...
Yeah, so we're like, just so you know, like, XYZ. Because, like, how are we just moving, like
nothing's going on to the point that, like, you're going to look, like, funny thing is, I saw my landlord today. And the thing is, like, this is killing me because I haven't seen him since it started either, right? Yeah. And I've been noticing the days going, and we're getting close to the end of the month, and I haven't seen this guy. And just the way the world works, as I'm coming to see you, he's outside washing his car, right? This is the first time we connect in weeks, because I haven't left my apartment, nothing. So I come out, and one of those, hey, whatever. He started talking it up, whatever. He's still working. He's doing shipping. He ships to grocery stores.
Okay, so yeah.
So they gotta keep shipping food, right? So I'm like, oh, you're still working? He's like, yeah, I gotta keep working, blah blah. I gotta ship the rest to the grocery stores. I wear a mask and stuff and protective gear, blah blah. I was like, yeah. He didn't ask me about. He knows what I do. He knows I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
He knows that. Like, he didn't say like, how's work. He didn't say like, so.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Bro.
He doesn't care.
And I purposely asked him if he's working to like have that conversation. Like, to be like, oh, you're still working today? He's like, yeah, I gotta still work. And I was like, oh, true. And then you just start going on about like, yo, it's a crazy virus. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, gotta be safe. I'm like, yeah. And I'm waiting for like, so are you gonna ask like, if you like, I'm paying you this week, but like, are you gonna ask if I'm paying you? And like, when I do pay you, like, sure, I give you this rent money, right?
Yeah.
We both know I'm not working next month.
Yeah.
No, like like, let's look at each other in the eye. You and I both know I'm not working next month. So
it's impossible for me
like,
to work.
I'm curious, like, are you really just waiting for me to have the conversation to be like, hey, or are you gonna proactively say something? And I literally feel like April 1st, everyone's gonna be playing chicken this year. Like, who's gonna bite?
I'm worried for a lot of people.
I am.
Like, straight up, and it's not even because it's like they didn't save enough money, like whatever. I don't care who you are. There's no.
It's not about saving. Yeah, it's a matter of when.
Yeah,
it's not if.
There's no scenario in the world. Like, I'm speaking specifically for people in Toronto, right? Because renting already is stressful. I know renting in Toronto can be very stressful, right? Because especially how more expensive it is, as you know. And it's like, it's not even a case of, well, should I have this money? It's like, bro, I would say at least 90% of people are living paycheck to paycheck.
And there actually is no prep for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, because if they literally said, like, you know, guys, this will be ended by June.
This day? Cool.
Then people are like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to strap up. Like, yo, there's no plan. There's literally, like, we can hit June and they're like, you know what, guys, it's going to August. Like, okay.
Like, yeah, you're like, what? So, like you said, there's no plan. So it's just weird to me that I've spoken to a lot of people who have not had that conversation with their landlord. And it's weird for us because we're the renters. And it's like, imagine you're paying every month, no problem, on time, like without question. And then one day a virus hits the world.
That's never happened before like this.
In our lifetime. And now you have to have this conversation with your landlord where you're like, yo, so...
Have you watched the news? Like, that's...
I'm not working next month.
Like, do you watch the news, right? So you know
this is the case.
No, like, you know it's just not me saying this. You know nobody's working, right?
You know I'm not delinquent. Like, you know
so we might have to like, people might have to start like going on off like history. Because like it might come down to a thing where lenience is based on history.
Yeah.
If you've like, I've never missed a date.
Yeah.
I've always been early. Like, if I have the money, I'm just like, here, take it. Yeah. I always pay early. I don't really wait till. So
like my one has all my checks. You just cash.
So it's like, if you're typically have a record like that, I'm again, it's an assumption. I can't speak, but I feel like when it gets to the point where you're like, listen, I don't have it, those type of relationships will be held because they're like, I know you've never missed.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is affecting you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like those situations that I'm unsure about, or the ones where people are
missing rent. Like,
you know what I'm saying? So those are the ones that I feel like might be a little bit wishy-washy, where they're like, they already miss rent normally, so their lives are just, I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Their patience is already withered. But I think if you're someone with a good track record with your landlord or whoever, and you've never missed, if you miss these months, like, I feel like we're both gonna be like, listen, I haven't missed a single month since I've been here. Yeah. What are we talking about here? Yeah. Like what are we talking about?
The fact that I even have to have this conversation, that's the thing that frustrates me though.
Yeah.
It's like, I shouldn't have to have this conversation with my landlord. Like, I feel like my landlord honestly should just come to me and be like, listen,
I understand. That's all I want.
All you should say is, listen, there's a virus going around. like, let's just see where this goes. Don't worry about the rent. Like, figure out the
Be safe,
employment,
keep your food in.
like whatever it is you're gonna do, figure that out. But I'm not gonna be pressing you for the rent. You know what I mean? Like,
Pressing.
if next month comes and my landlord has the gall.
Are you talking about next month, like May?
May.
Okay.
If May comes and my landlord has the gall to
put his hand
down, I'm gonna be like, what? I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, chill. Unless I don't have things in order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, okay. Yo, Chris is telling me.
Because the thing is, and also like the thing is, you can't be paying rent money like this.
Yeah.
If you actually don't know when this is gonna end. Dude. And the thing is, this is where it also gets fishy because I'm like, these mortgage freezes, right? They're deferrals, so it doesn't go away. These landlords still owe the money, right? Yeah. When the bank defers your mortgage, doesn't mean it's gone. Like, it's deferred for their payment. So, but what I'm wondering is, if they get their things deferred, but they're still getting rent money from people, they're using that money for their saving stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so they're not paying their mortgage, but they're using your rent to keep them safe. Yeah, so then maybe in those, then that's on the landlord to figure out how they're going to pay. Because if you're keeping track of when you're paying them, your landlord then can't, like, at no point could they say, hey, mortgage was deferred for this month, so you got to owe me money. Like, at that point, the landlord should screw himself over. It would make more sense for the landlord to take that money you're still giving them and just put that towards a mortgage, even if it is deferred. Right. Because they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. Right. But speaking of that, Chris was telling me yesterday, this guy, he was reading this crazy story. Enough is a story if he knows someone who knows this guy. Mm-hmm. But basically, this person, they make all their living by Airbnb, right? Just Airbnb a bunch of properties. So that's done now. But they can't do that anymore. Yeah. But where the story gets fucked up is the places that he was Airbnb-ing, he doesn't own. He rents all of them. So everyone's coming back home. The people that... No. So what's happening is this guy was renting out like 15 to 20 different places. It might be, let's just say it's New York, right? Sure. So imagine someone's renting out 15 to 20 different places, all under their own name. Okay. So they still have to pay, that person has to pay rent to each of those properties. Right. Right? But the way they're making their money, like tenfold, like a tax on it? Like a buffer on what they're paying, basically? Yeah. No, like what's happening is, okay, so we've got like house A, B, C, D, E, right? Right. I'm renting all those properties from different people. Okay. A, I'm renting from Ryan, B from Jamie, C from blah, blah, blah. So every month, I have to pay each one of you your rent, right? Right. But the way I end up making money is, let's say the rent for your place is only $1,000 each month. I'll Airbnb the spot for like $100 a night. So I'm gonna make that money back, no problem in a month. Yeah, he's flipping on what he's agreeing to pay you your rent money. Yeah, and he can charge what he feels like. Yeah, basically. But the people who own these properties, the landlords, don't know that he's doing this. Oh, he's pretending that he lives there? Yeah. You're not supposed to. Yeah. Like renting, technically, you're not supposed to Airbnb. Right. Because that's not actually your property. Yeah. Some of others aren't. He basically is saying, is your place open for free? Yeah. Okay, I'm moving in. Sure. Here's the money. I'll pay you rent every month. Come check on me, though. Yeah. don't come check on me, though. Yeah, I'll pay you rent every single month. No problem. Never come in. Because some people do this. Like, when I've gone to other cities and done Airbnb. They're not even there, like, whoever I'm Airbnb-ing from, they might be like, yo, just so you know, if landlord comes over, say this. Yeah, same. I've been there, yeah. So, like, this situation has now happened, the virus. This man owes, like, $50,000 in rent. Because he owns. That's still due. He's still good. That's still due. So imagine what we're dealing with just with one property. Oh man, this man is literally thinking in his head, "Fuck, yo, that's a fuck." Like, you know what that is? That's I'm moving to Cuba and never coming back. Vanishing. Like, I'm gone. And the thing is, you obviously don't know, but like, does he have furniture in each place? Like what? Like, you don't care about that furniture. No, but I'm saying, bruh, if you're doing that many places, you stocked up furniture for each place to look nice, like, yo, I ain't leaving that. Right. There's no way. I will clean out every apartment. The landlord's just gonna know that town, bro. Imagine a man moved up from 10 apartments at once.
That's too stressful for me. I'm picking my favorite apartment, getting the shit, and I'm bouncing.
Jeez.
So I actually I got a hot take for you regarding this whole virus thing, right? Because you brought up Italy earlier, and if you know like anything about Italian culture, you know how
Very touchy.
and like how close they all are. So I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I just read this in an article. I should have fact checked it, but the two countries with some of the highest populations in the world right now is Italy and Japan.
Highest elderly
Population,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Germany's third.
And Japan is, I don't know the exact order, but
I think it's Germany, Italy. Sorry, Japan, Italy, then Germany. But
so you know, Japan's very close to China. They like recognize this was an issue. They made some precautions. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. All right. So hot take is this: basically, Japan, Italy, and Germany have the oldest elderly population, and we know that in the Italian culture, they're very touchy-feely. The younger generation in that culture as well seems to be very close to their elderly, more than any others that I've seen.
Yeah.
But Japan, even with their proximity to China, doesn't have as high of a death rate amongst their elderly as
Japan.
As Italy.
As Italy, okay.
As Italy, right? So my thing is this. When we look at the case that we're in right now, I think one of the worst things that can happen after this virus situation is done is people go back to being normal, right? Like the way things were before this is like they don't realize things need to change.
Yeah.
So when you think about like social habits and how people greet each other, do you think this virus is enough to change those practices? Because in Italy and in Italian culture, all my friends, when you greet people, it's like you do
kiss on the cheek,
kiss on the side of the cheek. In Japan, there's no physical touching whatsoever, and it's been that way forever in their greeting practices.
Right.
So,
but Japan's doesn't have high numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Japan's numbers are nowhere near as high as Italy.
Got you.
And I'm just trying to make a correlation.
No, like, is it because they're not touching each other? Like,
but I mean, like, it's part of the culture. It's ingrained in it. So when people didn't know
it's not crazy.
Virus was serious, it's like, hey, maybe these things play into it.
I don't think it's that far fetched.
So my argument is this: any time that I have seen someone on the street that I know or whatever, and we both know that people have been social distancing, they've been isolating at home.
Talking about as a recent,
okay. Right? What I'll see people do is like either if they don't like touch each other when they greet each other, or if they do touch each other, it's the elbow thing.
I just did that to you today.
Yeah, you did that to me today.
Yeah.
But I'm like, in my head, it's so much weirder to do this to someone than to just bow.
Yeah.
But bowing is not part of our culture, so it's like, what do you think? Like, I'm gonna be pissed if after the virus is done,
man, they're elbowing each other.
The elbow thing is a new breed. And I'm just looking around like, why are we just bowing people? But
mans are elbowing mans.
So my question is to you: do you think that after the pandemic is over, do you think mans are really gonna go back to hailing each other up?
Absolutely. Bro, listen. When this actually clears up, 2021. I don't know. 2021. I really don't know. But when it actually clears up, and it's to confirm that this thing is not circulating anymore, people will go right back into their same habits. And this is because it's so engraved, and everyone's only acting right now out of fear, not out of actual understanding. And that is the reason why social distancing is just a temporary fix. All you're doing is putting mans in the corner. Like, you're just telling, go in the corner. You'll go in there, you do it because you said so. Not because... Huh? Go ahead.
People I see on the IG that's been like, they'll post photos where it's like them and their friends hugging. And they're like, I can't wait till it's over so we can do this again. Sure, when this is over, I'm still not going near you for like at least 2 weeks.
Right? People are products of habit, right? So everyone's only doing what they're supposed to do out of fear, not because they actually believe they should be doing it. It's more just like, well, everyone's doing it, and it's literally called social distancing. I really feel like they named it that because people will do things socially, and they're trying to get the government is banking on people listening because of social pressures.
Yeah.
Right? Because people don't like listening to law or authority. That's just
Facts, yeah.
us. That's just what it is. If the law says don't go outside, you're like, shut up. Like, I'm going outside. I'm going out right. You know what? Because you said that, I'm going out right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, we're rebellious in that sense, right? Which is unfortunate, but that's what we are. So I think they branded it and have phrased it like social distancing because social media is huge. It's so widespread, and think about the amount of things that have been passed or changed or brought up or because of social media, because someone said something, posted something, went viral, and people are like, oh shit, like now we know about this. So I think they're trying to do the same thing with the social distancing thing to make it a trend, a tag, a almost like a community to run itself. Because I've already seen it already. Like, you've seen people tweeting like, yo, you guys shouldn't be doing, like, people are doing this for them.
Yeah.
Like, they need people to run this, to drive this.
Well,
because no one's gonna listen to the cops. No one's gonna listen to Trudeau saying, guys, you stay away from each other.
You're not wrong at all. Because the argument is, you know, you've seen the videos of the generation right below us.
The kids, they're going
is that Gen Z?
Gen Z, yeah.
Right? So you see videos of them, like, it's not even, I don't know if it's the people that I've seen speaking in that generation speaks for how they all seem to
We can't say that because you can say anything about us, but there are people that are like, I don't care.
It's crazy to me seeing this though. Like,
they don't care.
It's not that difficult to understand, bro. Like, you guys will probably be fine, but
it's not you. It's who you're going back to your grandparents' house. You're going back to your parents. Like,
and you know what? This is what upsets me. It's like, okay, we just in the past couple years we've seen certain movements happen, right? And I'll use the Me Too movement as an example. So the Me Too movement has done a lot of great things, and there have been some aspects of it that haven't been too great, which people who are a part of that movement, which I mean should be a lot of people, they'll be the first to tell you that, right? So one of the things that I guess you could say might be a little bit problematic about it is the fact that you're guilty until proven innocent.
With what?
In that movie. So what was happening?
For the Me Too thing.
Yeah. So
like once they jump on you, that's it. Before you even say anything.
Because normally in the court of laws, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? So if someone says something,
even if it's accusation,
like your life is ruined, right?
You have to actually fight to defend yourself out of it.
Exactly.
And it's still tarnished.
So in this situation, because that's how it became a thing where opinion was worth more than fact.
Yeah.
Right? So it needs to get to a point where people have that same mentality
about this
with Me Too movements, but it's facts-based. It's like, yo, this isn't hearsay. Just because you're young and you don't feel sick, the facts of the matter is you're gonna get someone else sick.
Right. That's not a good discussion.
And that's not opinion.
Yeah.
Like that's a genuine fact. Like, I don't know why we need to discuss this, but it's like I feel like it's like you have to baby some people into believing it. So when I watch the government literally saying to people, yo,
stop.
I don't know why I'm driving by Hyde Park the other day in Trinity Bellwoods, or Hyde Park, sorry, and it's filled with people.
Just walking around.
It's a nice day. It's filled with people. And I'm like, you guys are sick. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not that hard to understand. Like,
but the thing is, they need other people to make them feel that way. Like, that is the society we've now entered. People will not do anything until they feel socially excluded. Do you understand how crazy that is? Like, those people in Hyde Park would not be doing that if people in Hyde Park were like, yo, what are you guys doing out here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then they'd kind of be like, that's...
I even think you're being, like, super generous. I think people won't even do anything until it's as close to someone in their own family being affected.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, though. Like, it has to, like, when it comes here, where it's like you've actually experienced it.
Because I don't think it could get any more socially present right now where people are saying, "Yo, like, stop going out."
Yeah.
I think because I think you're giving people too much credit. Like, I think you believe in humans too much because I see these people. It's a lot of older people I see now, and a lot of young people. And young people are always on their phones.
Yeah.
They're seeing people say, "Yo, stay home."
But even with your opinion, it's like that means that means the only people that will listen would be the people that it's close to. Anyone else will be the same.
Yeah.
So like with the one-off people, so if it hits me, then I'm gonna stop. Like is that basically what's gonna happen?
I
Like,
really feel like
if it hits me, then I'm gonna stop.
I really feel there's a lot of people because the problem is with society in general. There's a lot more stupid people than smart people.
Definitely.
Like moving around, right? That might sound harsh, but it's just the case.
Yeah.
So, how likely is it that on the flip of a dime, everyone's just gonna be like, "Yo, okay, not going out anymore."
It's still gonna be stupid gradual. Like stupid gradual.
It'll take some time, man. So, the next point in all of this is talking about the Trump situation, right? Regarding how he's dealing with it.
What part?
And I mean, yo,
what part? Because you watched that thread of all that nonsense?
I was gonna retweet it. I think I sent it to you.
What part?
But I guess my thing is, I don't know how you can be. You
can't try and figure him out. First of all, why are you trying to figure him out?
There is this. My thing is this: like, if I am an American citizen that voted, like, just didn't vote for Trump, I'm already cheesed because I didn't vote for him and he's now his president. But if you voted for him, I truthfully don't understand how you could vote for Trump, see the way that this man operates when he's talking to people, and think to yourself, "I made the right choice.
This is a good guy.
This is the guy.
He's decent.
He
knows what he's doing.
I
trust him.
I watch this man talk, and
I'm frustrated to listen to him talk. First of all, his face. Second of all, the way he puckers his lips when he talks. I just want to slap him.
Yo, I'm so glad we're not on TV right now because,
bro, I just want to slap him.
Because listen, I feel this might sound really harsh, but sometimes when I look at Trump, I'm worried that he might be mentally challenged.
Bro,
I'm so serious.
I feel like something's missing. Like there's a link in there that's missing.
Like
there's a link that's missing for sure.
Like, okay, let's put it like this, right? Let's put it like this. For years, when people were like, "Yo, something might be wrong with Kanye," right? Like, I love Ye, right?
But there is something wrong with him.
But when Ye came out, it's just like, "Yo, like I'm bipolar. Like this is a serious thing."
You're like, oh, you know what? I get it.
I was like, now it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Now I can understand
the sporadic behavior. Yeah, it's not like. There's no way you can convince me you're normal.
Yeah.
And you're running around like there's no way there has to be something.
Like it's weird. It's weird when you say it.
You need to tell me there's something so I can be like, like
it makes sense now.
Do not convince me I'm perfectly fine and you run on stage and yell and pull a mic. Like don't tell me you're normal. Like just tell me there's something wrong so I can be like, I get it.
I need
Trump needs to admit something's wrong with him.
He needs to admit he's got something going on.
Something.
Because then I could justify in my head.
I could be like, it's not him.
You know what? He
doesn't know what he
doesn't need to be president. Now I have
forgive him, for he knows not what.
No.
For he knows not what he does.
There's no forgiveness.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
No, there's no forgiveness. But
he's a child.
At least
can you get mad at a child?
Yeah, of course I can.
How far?
I was a child. My parents got mad at me.
Yeah, but sorry. You can get mad, but is it justified?
Yes.
When the kid doesn't know better, it's not justified.
No, because you could do something stupid.
They can do something stupid when the kid generally does not know better. You'll get mad because you're naturally instinct to get mad. But when the kid generally does not know better, like it's one thing.
The child genuinely doesn't know better the one time. But if they make the same mistakes, they don't. It's not that they don't know better. Who
are you to tell the child understands? We don't know.
Right, shut up.
I'm literally comparing him to a child. That is that's what I'm actually doing.
Okay, so then basically Trump is a symptom of the American people then. Because if by that logic, if he doesn't understand something after being told multiple times, it's a reflection of the parent, not being able to properly
100%.
Right? So
because we're not reprimanding him.
So
if you keep doing the same mistake and you don't get hit on your hand, you're like,
oh. At that point, basically Trump, he's just a symptom of the people that live there because
no one's stopping me.
They allowed him to get there. He appealed and said things to certain people, certain demographic that he knew he needed in order to win.
And it worked.
Which is what happened. It was the Rust Belt. And now everyone's looking at him like, yo, so what's your plan for this? Like, what are you gonna do?
And he's like, oh, I have some good
And
plans.
when the man is on stage on the podium and he's just like, you know, he rambles on and he's like, but
We're doing
you can answer this.
You
right?
get that one.
It's like, what?
Imagine Obama saying, you get that one.
All
You know, like,
fam,
dead serious, like, yo, you got this one? What?
All you need from your, like, the thing, here's the thing, like, there's a million things that you and I and the general public will never know about being a politician, right? I would never want to be a politician straight up for the fact that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
There's no winning.
There's no winning. Like, no matter what I do, someone's gonna call me online and call me a bitch for not like doing a certain thing.
You just have to do your best.
And it's like, you don't know what I know.
Right.
So it's like, I couldn't do this even though I wanted to.
I'm not allowed.
But I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally not allowed.
Yeah, yeah.
But all you at the bare minimum that you need from your leader is to show like confidence and composure. When I look at Trump,
frazzled.
It's shaky. I'm like,
frazzled.
Even going back to sports, yo, like the last thing you ever want from anyone on your team that like has any leadership quality is for them to look shaky. If you look shaky to me, I'm not following you.
You're like, we lost. We definitely lost. Bro, the line that got me the most was one of the reporters or one of the people, interviewers, whatever, asked him, do you have any like possible thought of reaching out to former presidents? You know, they've been here before, not necessarily the virus, but you know, they've been in your position. They've been in your position before. You know, this is your first time at like your first, you know, run as a president. You have any thoughts of like reaching out to like Obama or Bush or like, you know, somebody else that has been in a position where they have to make tough decisions? And the man said 3 times his campaigns and his team is doing an incredible job. 3 times. Incredible job. 3 times. He had to reiterate, incredible job 3 times. Then he went on to, I don't know what the point of this example was, because it only made him seem even further of an idiot, was he said, listen, if I thought that reaching out to one of these presidents could save 1 life, even 1 life, I would do it. Let that line alone. You are basically like, he literally said, if I thought that reaching out to somebody, a president, would save even 1 life, I would definitely do it, no question. But I don't. You know what? In fact, I don't think I learned anything from them. And I heard him say, I'm just like,
what? You're like, what?
No, but like, not like, it's such a weird feel listening to him, because there's a point where you're like, okay, you just said some fuckery. There's 1, but 2, it's like, you believe this, and then 3, it's like, y'all didn't hear this? Like nobody wants to be like.
Because what was crazy about that situation too that you're saying?
You don't think you can learn anything from
Trump said everything that you just said,
right?
And then I don't even like Pence,
yeah.
Right? But Pence literally responded in the most composed way. So it was like a drastic difference between your vice president and your president.
Yeah.
The vice president seems like he might be able to stand up there and answer these questions properly. Like the thing about Trump that amazes me too is, you know, he says certain things that when you repeat to other people,
you're like, there's no way.
A part of you is just like, he didn't say it. Like,
there's no way.
There's no way. And then you hear him actually say it, and you're like,
what?
Whose man's is it? Like, no one else is gonna check him?
But that's why I'm saying he's a kid. Like, no one, at no point, no one's like, I need to whoop your ass.
Did you see the clip where he asked one of the reporters? He's like, he might have asked like one of the doctors or some shit. He's like, you see this podium area where we're talking to the press? Right now it's not too full because of the virus and all this stuff like that. But do you think we're ever going to get back to a time where it's full and reporters are just begging to ask me questions, and it's so full that we have people outside? You think I'm making this up? You think I'm making this up? You actually think I'm making this up?
It's so full.
Ryan, Ryan, you think I'm making this up? I'm
Until
not.
it's so full.
The man said, "Do you think we're ever gonna get back to a point where it's so full in here that we have people outside waiting to get in here?" Do you think I'm making this up? Look me in the eyes. You think I'm making this up, don't you? But it's Trump. It's Trump. Like,
we haven't what?
Ryan, I can make up anything.
I believe you.
I can make up anything and say Trump said it, and chances are you'd believe me. Anything.
Anything.
I can say that.
Wow.
I can say that Trump said that aliens visited him last night and told him not to help the American people because they got this.
And he'll say it bold face.
He'll say it bold face. And that's the thing about Trump. Like,
yeah.
There's no part of him
I feel like he's joking.
Doubt in what he's
I
saying.
feel like he's joking. And he's just
there's no part of him that has doubt in what he's saying. Like, he's saying this with the utmost confidence. Like, yeah, I don't believe I learned anything from Obama or Bush.
Not a thing.
Or Clinton. I want to learn a thing.
Not a thing.
In fact, they learned from me. Like, what are you talking about? Like
not a goddamn thing. What can you teach me? What? Obama. Come on.
Oh my God.
What can I learn from Obama? Nothing. Nothing.
He's insane.
He's insane.
He's insane. And everyone around him is insane too. For like,
you know what's hard to watch? When he's talking and like his administration beside him, just like this. Like, I want to know what's in their head sometimes, because there's a point where, in that position, you just like, even if you don't agree, you just have like, that is your job. Like,
they're all dying.
That
inside,
is your job.
Bro. They're all dying inside. That same
like they literally just sit there like.
That same example. I just remember that same example I just gave. He was asking like a medical or health professional, and the quote for the tweet was, "Have you ever wanted to see a medical professional die inside slowly? Watch this clip." And Trump was saying everything that I just said, and you literally saw her face go from like smiling. She's like,
like she's crushed.
She's like, "Yo, I'm really standing up." Like, I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand how it's possible to literally listen to Trump and just go, "That's my guy." That's my guy. Like,
you see that?
What?
You see how he answered that question? Flawless.
How? Like, how?
So concise.
Help me understand. It makes no sense. Like, I wish I could go into the mind of someone that genuinely fucks with him, so I could even begin to understand where they're coming
There's
from.
something wrong with them too.
What?
There's something wrong with them too.
Probably, because it makes no sense. I understand that every president has like poor policies. There's gonna be things you don't agree with.
Definitely.
Obama had it. Clinton had it. Bush.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who you are.
You can't please the masses.
You cannot please everyone. But from the jump, there was no part of me that was like, "Yo, this is a solid move for the States," or, you know what, maybe this might make some sense.
Everyone just said, "Let's see how this plays out."
I literally looked at it from the jump. I'm like,
"This is a disaster."
What?
Yeah. So, I guess the topic we have to really try and get into right now is, what is the... I mean, it's all speculation. We don't know shit. But what do you see as the future of this economy right now? So, months ago, when this first happened in Wuhan and everything was, I made a post about this affecting the economy, and people were like, "Oh, it's not that bad." But I'm just like, bro, if China gets hit, this is hitting the world for sure. Oh, it's not that. All right, I'm like, watch, stock market's gonna crash. Just like shit's gonna hit the fan. And I said this months ago, and now it did. And the thing is, this isn't something I want to be right about. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm right. I'm like, I lost money. It sucks. Like, I'm still losing money. So I didn't want to be like, yes, I'm right. But it happened because you can tell if you're aware of enough of what happens in the world and who has the powers in this world. You know, like, if China's going down, we're fucked. If the U.S. goes down for anything, we're done. Like, if you're still going to war, we're going to war. Like, you're just still understanding the geography of things and power. But I didn't want to be right about this. There wasn't something like, yeah, like, I'm glad I'm right about the stock. Like, no, I'm losing money and it sucks. And I'm still losing money.
Yeah.
It sucks. But what is, like, right now, for let's do us specifically because we're creative people. So for the creative people out there, what is the future of freelancing, creativity, artists, you know, service businesses, stuff like that? Because you know what a lot of yeah. Once this lifts per se, people are gonna be very money tight, right? Everyone's be like very frugal. Travel's still gonna be very low. Spending, food, extra stuff, all that stuff's gonna be very low for a while. So even when the stuff lifts, like people are still gonna be stuck making money. People already lost jobs already. I know people are messaging me already like I lost my job. And, like people are losing their jobs, getting laid off. Some layoffs are not gonna come back. It's just gonna be like, bro, like sorry, like you're just we can't add you back. So what? And then right now, you know, most people, if not everyone, is at a stage now where they're looking for some type of hope, right? Some type of positivity. You know, people are seemingly, I'll say, coming together during this time, which I won't even speak on that because I have my own opinions of why people do things when in certain like if you guys are all if you're really like a come together person, you like
You do that anytime.
you would be that person. But sure, whatever. But what do you see as the future of the creative space in terms of people doing more? You know, first of all, a lot of my weddings are rescheduling or I had 11 weddings that are booked this year. I doubt those are going to happen this year, realistically. People are, so not even just me, but like people aren't getting married. Like it's really adjusting everything, right? So what is your opinion on the future of these creative spaces, these positions? Do you think a lot of people will still be doing what they're doing when this is done? Do you think
So
it's definitely checked a lot of people?
So when you were speaking about it months ago, like when it started to become like a more serious thing about a month and a half ago, I remember saying in my chat, right, that a lot of people are not going to recover from this. And not even just from a financial standpoint, but from a mental aspect too. Because a lot like I don't think people like really realize like how many people in our generation in particular are no longer working conventional jobs, right? Like people,
It's like the shift of the culture for that.
yeah, like the culture has shifted where a large portion of our generation like works in the gig economy. So the problem is when we all signed this social contract to be a part of that industry, whether you're creative, whatever it looks like, we knew that there were um, pitfalls and troubles that come with it. You and I have talked about it on early podcasts where we said, yo, like, it's an adjustment going from having a steady paycheck to just not having one anymore and having to figure out how you're going to make money off your own skill. Like, it's a very stressful thing. Now, people are in a position where, okay, even if I do have these skills, I literally can't use them at all because no work is getting done. Like people don't have the money to pay me these things. So speaking of what you and I do, right? We'll have clients that might hit you up, say, I need a photo shoot, I need this video stuff done. But then you also have our bigger clients, right? Someone like a Roots or a Nike or whatever. All their money is coming from marketing budgets. So as soon as this virus hit, everyone was just like, nope, I'm taking my money back. Because, like, what am I marketing in this time for? When things get lifted, those budgets, they don't just come back. Like, it's not like things get put back on the hold. Timelines have now shifted. Things that they wanted to market no longer can be marketed. So I think that when things do get lifted, in an ideal world, I would love to believe that people a part of these industries, people who are self-employed, would I hate saying it, but I feel like they should figure out a way to put some sort of legislation in place and that would take definitely years to do, but it checks a lot of people on realizing that, yo, like, I'm really not safe at all. There's nothing I can do. The fact that Trudeau just had to announce like this new benefit is because over 1 million people, like in the span of 3 days, applied for EI. There's a ton of people who can't get EI because they're self-employed. So then you quickly realize that, yo, like, this profession that I've chosen to be in, there's some people who are thinking, is this the profession I should be in because of moments like this? Like, I'm genuinely scared. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Did I make the right choice? Freelancing, all this type of stuff. So a lot of those people are going to fall off when things come back. But I think the more resilient people, they're going to find ways amongst themselves to just adapt. I know it sounds like a cliche answer, but no, it's what we do. You know what I mean? Like, things happen. Like, you like, you fall in the water and you break your cameras. You're like, well, I got to adapt. Like, and the only reason you're doing that is because literally your lifeline depends on it. Like, you don't have a choice to be like, oh man, like, well, I guess I'm out of a camera for X amount of time. Like, you got to do it. So I do think a lot of people are not going to recover from this because freelancing as it is already tough for a lot of people. And the life just threw a curveball at everyone that no one prepared for. So now those people who are already struggling freelancing, there's no way. It sounds harsh.
I know what you mean.
I don't believe they're recovering from this. Now,
go ahead.
I'll let you know. Okay.
I see it twofold. I definitely agree with you about some people not being able to recover just in any industry. Like,
it doesn't matter if it's just ours.
Some people, they don't have a job, they're not getting a job back. It's like, well, you're going to be unemployed for the next 6 months. That's just what it is. For people in the creative industry, I think this time will really expose who really built lasting and useful relationships with their clients. Because what's going to happen is, like you said, the freelancers, the people that are struggling already, or the ones that were, just getting by or getting lucky per se, because there's luck in this industry sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I have a job, and it happens, right? But that's not sustainable. Those I've got ones, you got them, where people are just like, here's some money, like, I need someone to do this. You available? Like, that happens. But the sustainable stuff, like the long-term relationships with people, the companies that you continually work with, the people that send you stuff, people that thank you, like, those relationships are the people that are going to thrive, right? The people that have lasting relationships with corporate companies that once this is done, they're still like, I'm still calling some more. Like, it's not like, whether if our budget's low, then the low budget goes to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's still certain relationship buildings that will really determine the business practices of some people who are really about this life for real, because it was such a saturated market. It still is, but because it was so saturated, people, like, clients didn't even know the difference. Right? Like, anyone can buy a Sony camera at night. Like, anyone can, the barriers to entry was so limited for photography, videography specifically, I'm talking about, that anyone could buy it. You save up some money, get $3,000 camera, cool. Now I got 4K. Like, right? But the skill set behind it was too difficult for a client to really tell. Who
they won't even really try.
Or really try. They're like, my boss needs something, or I need a video done. Can you do it? Like, you don't know if it's not done well. If it's like, you're not in that space. So if someone's like, this is good, you're like, okay. But those people that are just getting by or sliding in certain things, I don't think they're gonna still be around. I think companies or businesses, corporate, high-end clients, and even low-end clients, like the regular people on Instagram and stuff, but like, I think they're really gonna start to, like, really care about quality a lot more. And the reason is because I think your dollar is gonna be more scarce, that people are gonna pay attention to what they're actually spending on. People aren't gonna get away with just charging stupidness and their quality is shit. Like you could get away with that before because everyone's making money, checks are coming in, it's normal. Oh yeah, I'll pay for this branding video today. I'll pay for this photo shoot for the gram. I'll pay for bro. How many people think photo shoots just for the gram? There's no purpose. You had no job. You don't do anything. You just want photos. Like people are just paying photographers. And
No, you're not wrong.
That era is gonna be done. It's gonna be like, okay, I have this amount of money. I need branding. Who's the best at this? And who can I trust? I mean, it won't just be like, oh, I do this. I'm gonna throw my money here. So I think this is where you and I will really appreciate the relationships we build with people because I already know. I've been talking to people now. People are like, yeah, once this lifts, I gotta do this with you. So I'm not like. I know there's people that once this lifts, they don't know where their clients are. You know what I'm saying? Versus I know once this lifts, it's like, is everyone good? Yeah. Okay, come, let's start. You know what I'm saying? That's my mind. So I'm not actually worried in that sense. I know who my people are. I know who the businesses are that work with me. So I think this helps and hinders. If you get what I'm saying,
I definitely see that because, like you said, the industry was already kind of saturated, and there's a lot of crap. So it would make it more difficult for certain people to say, "Look, I'm charging you this much because of the quality, because of these things that go into it that you don't necessarily see." And the client would often sometimes try to negotiate
that
with
guy
you because that guy's going to do it for this much, and it's like, well, okay, let's see if that's still the case when time comes, right? But it's a common thing I've been saying. Which I'm new catchphrase. I've just been saying we're in for some wild times. This is a scary time for a lot of people because even just outside of our industry and what we do, I'm really realizing how many people are affected by this. Yes, people who work in schools, the list goes on like crazy. But when I'm not doing, well, it hasn't been the case for a while, but when I'm not doing anything in the creative field, I was either bartending or in the fitness industry. And it's if I didn't have the wherewithal in order to figure out how I'm going to do certain things, it's I literally could not fall back on any one of those three things right now because they're all revolved around people, right? Can't do creative stuff. All bars are closed down. No fitness stuff can happen. So when the pandemic is over, whenever that happens and things do get lifted, I know that, okay, slowly people are going to go back to the bars, right? I know that slowly people are going to get their fitness back. I know that slowly people are going to want their branding to get better. But now people are going to be more frugal. And it's going to be a lot harder to convince people spend extra money here with me to do these things, right? And that's going to be the tough part for a lot of people to have those conversations and actually explain to people look,
especially if they haven't had to before.
Yeah, if they haven't had to before, now it's going to be extra difficult.
Justify yourself.
It's going to be super difficult. So it's weird, man. I've been talking to a lot of people in the fitness industry, for example, and you're seeing a lot of them scramble to make online content. And I had a conversation with my boy nearly 2 months ago. I was just I showed him this girl on Instagram that does this, and I was like, yo, he's also my coach, right? And I was just yo, you should be doing this.
Easily.
I'm you should be doing this, and I actually believe in you so much because he's
you basically he would do better for sure.
So bad. I was I believe in you so much that I will do this for you, right? I'll do a couple for you for free, and you tell me the benefits you get from this because I've been doing it for my gym, and it's it's low effort. I can get it done quick, but the quality.
Will you talk a video for them? Of someone talking.
Yeah, let's say I've done instructional videos, right? How you do something.
Yeah,
it's very easy to do what you're doing and do it quick. Quality is great. And I'm we can just do this better, and it'll look better. It'll help your business, blah blah. And I could tell at the time he didn't want to take me up on the offer because he's the type of person where it's I don't like taking. I don't like
he just offer.
The gifting.
He
didn't want to feel like he was taking advantage of
Yeah.
Virus happens. No one expects that. All these fitness influencers or personal trainers, you see them every day. Everyone's popping up. And I'm just man, I didn't know this virus was going to happen, but you can see where the industry's going, right? So I do think that when the virus is lifted or the pandemic is lifted, I think certain industries are really gonna realize like, yo, we need an online presence, right? And I think that's where people like you and I can really leverage from it. If you can explain to them like, not only can I make this, we can do this, this, and this, and that's where a lot of us will like thrive post pandemic. But I really don't know if a lot of people are gonna make it that far, right? Because it really is like a messed up time, like to try and think like months from now, right? Like you
can't even plan it.
Yeah,
I actually can't even conceptualize.
You and I were joking about how I don't even know what day it is, right? Like I genuinely had to think about what day it was, and you know, I remember I was thinking about going to Jamaica at some point, right? It's like all these things that I had in my mind of what I wanted to do, it's just up in the air.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell you when it's gonna happen, what's gonna happen. I don't think anyone knows, but I'm leaning more on the side that we should expect to be in this phase for at least 3 to 4 months. The fact that the government like
is not saying anything,
put out this new benefit and they're like, we'll be doing this for at least 4 months.
That means their gap is at least.
Let you know that they actually think, okay, this could be like a real long thing.
Yeah.
And I think the sooner people understand that and accept it, the sooner they can be at peace with it and think about what their next steps are. I know that, you know, since this happened, you've been like learning. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but like
no, I was about to close with that. I was like, what have you like? I'll talk about mine first, but like, I guess I'm sure a question people are wondering like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck do we do every day now? So like, what are you doing right now?
So for me, like,
what's the time on that, by the way? I didn't set the timer.
20 minutes. Okay. So for me,
sorry, let's talk about it. Yeah, so what the fuck have you been doing right now? Like, what are you up to? Every day. Same day, every day.
It's been a lot of, like, video editing. It's been a lot of video editing.
Of what, though? Like your client work's done, no?
Yeah, it's been things that I've just been wanting to do. Right. Like, going back through old footage.
Best word is what that you just said? The best word is what?
I wanted to do, right? Because, you know, even though I was always doing, like, at my job, I was doing things that I wanted to do, like, in terms of the type of work, it's really difficult to, like, make the time. Even when I was freelancing, it was, like, really hard to make the time to sit down and be like, I'm going to create for me.
What I feel like doing.
Like, no one's going to tell me, hey, can you change this?
Nope.
Can you do this?
I'm gonna post it with a mistake if I want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post it unfinished if I feel like it.
Yeah, I'm done if I want to. I'm gonna do this for me. And then I haven't started yet, just because it's been like busy the last 2 days. But I'm planning on starting to learn a new language. I think I'm gonna try to learn Spanish. Because I really do believe we're gonna be in this for a long time. So it's like, bro, when do you have
never
this amount of free time?
Never, ever. Like. I don't think like,
and I don't feel and the thing is, when you have free time that you don't feel guilty about at all. That's the thing. Like,
it's not even just guilt. Like the last 5 days now it's been. Like, I don't even know anymore. Like 5, maybe 6 days now. I don't know. Last 5 days, I bought a course. I bought the graphic design course, and the motion design course, and animation course, and I've been at it literally 8-9 hours a day through the night. Wake up in the morning, doing it again in the afternoon, take a nap, back at it through the night. And I love it. And I'm fine with it. I love not knowing shit.
Yeah.
That's just my personality. I love, like, when I get to the point where I'm comfortable in something, I'm like, I need something else. And not that I don't keep doing what I'm doing, I'm just like, I need something else because I'm not challenged at whatever I'm doing right now. Yeah. Right? Yeah. When it comes to basketball, it's like if I'm really good at dunking or something, all right, I need to start dribbling with my left hand. Okay, I can do my left hand now. I need to start doing all layups with my left hand. Like, just start making personal challenges for myself. Okay, you're great left hand. Play a whole game left hand. Like, that's just how I am. I'm very competitive, right? So that competitiveness in me forces me. Like, I'm not stressed in this moment. Yeah. I can, like, it may sound crazy to some people to hear. I'm generally not stressed in this moment. Yeah. Not financially, I'm not rich at all. But like, I'm not worried about finance because everyone has financial issues. I don't have issues with it, but everyone's dealing with the same thing in terms of like, no one's getting money right now. Yeah. So I have the money I have, whatever I've saved, cool. If this doesn't stop, that money's gonna run out because money is finite. So I can't be scared of it running out because that means everyone runs out. Like it's not like, oh, just me ran out. Like unless you're a millionaire, billionaire in this world, like we all gonna run out. That's just So I'm not stressing about that. And I'm confident that when this does come back, I still have my clients. I still have wedding people. Like if people start getting married again this year, then I have my wedding still. Like nothing really changes in terms of my life. The only thing that's changed is I've never had this much time to myself. And not just time to myself, but undistracted, undivided time without any type of like requirement. Because I'm sure like even when you have your free time, it's like when was the last time you're completely done everything?
Never.
Like not even not a tweak, not an edit, not a pending, not a photo shoot to edit, not a wedding to edit, like literally nothing pending. Everyone has their work, everything's completed, everything's saved, everything's export, and you're just at your computer like it's all done. Like when? Never. Since you started this, when?
Never. It's never been the case.
When I sent my last project I did was the Caravana edit I sent off. That was my last project. And I was like, okay, sick. Like, it feels good to be. I'm not someone who I enjoy working, but I don't enjoy not completing. I like to complete. So like when I was like, this is my last project, I'm like, yo, you can this is actually your time now. Like,
to do whatever.
I was excited. I'm like, yo, this is like you're actually done. Like no one is gonna ask you like, hey, just checking. Like there's nobody gonna be like, just checking out my project or like, hey, following up. There's no follow up. There's no I have emails with everyone, but different stuff. But like, there's no one checking for me right now, right? Which is the most freeing feeling because I'm like, I can literally dedicate whatever. I can wake up when I feel like it. I can work on this as long as I want to. Stop when I want to. Gain as much knowledge in this time because I will never have this much time again. And how you use this time, whoever you are, for whatever you're doing, you will look back at this time 3 months from now, 4 months from now, a year from now, and be like, yo, I'm so glad I spent those last 3 months or those 3 months doing whatever that was I was doing. Because you're going to be ahead because there are people that are not doing anything, and you have to understand that. Like,
I just feel like in this time, people should just genuinely be doing. They should be doing whatever they feel like they want to do.
Whatever it is.
If for you, like not doing anything, like you just chilling.
If that is what you really always want to do,
you better do it because when the time comes that you're busy again, where you don't have the opportunity to just chill, like you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret saying to yourself, "Oh man, I should have just I should have played that video game, or like I should have read that book or something like that." Because, like you said, who knows? Like no one could have predicted that a virus like this was gonna happen. So it's weird saying this, but even after this pandemic happening, I still can't imagine another scenario like this. You know what I mean? Like this scenario is so crazy to me that
the thing is, I can though.
No, but I say that in
only because we've experienced it.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I say this in the sense that I couldn't imagine that another pandemic comes up where we're running around with our
this unprepared twice.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I couldn't imagine another scenario where it's like, okay,
if this does happen again, they're like, got it. Like
been through this.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna get through. Like, because right now we're figuring it out as it goes. So I
think that I agree. The next one, if hopefully not next one, but the next one would be like, as soon as it comes up, airports are shut down immediately.
Yeah, if our government is competent, like the only scenario in which like next time we have free time is there's a war going on, and by that point we don't have free time. You know what I mean?
You're just trying to survive.
So I don't know. We could end it there, but like that's the point. You know? It's the fact that
use this time for you.
Yeah, use this time to do
whatever that looks like, though.
Whatever that looks like,
because I think people are misconstruing that. Like, I made a tweet a while ago, and people went off on it. A lot of people agree with it, but can't please everybody. So there's people that are like, oh, it was insensitive, blah blah. And I don't care about that. I don't care if you find it insensitive, then it affected you and good. Like, hopefully it woke you up. But it was just paraphrase along the lines of like, if you were lazy during this time and you aren't using this time to do something for you, I'll never tell somebody what to do. I'm not going to be like, you should be reading a book right now. Like, no. If you're not a book reader, that's why would I say to read a book? Like, so I can't tell someone what they should be doing. But I absolutely believe this time should definitely be used towards something you're shit at. Yeah. Whatever that is. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Whatever that is. Like, we are shit at things. And we rarely have the opportunity to work on those things because we're doing the things that we're comfortable doing. Yeah. If you only have a limited amount of time to do something, you're gonna keep doing the things you're comfortable doing. That's just that's just how we are. I'm gonna do more of this because it's easy. And I'm good at it. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that because that takes too long and it's hard. That's
you're not wrong at all.
So when there's right now at this moment, nobody's expecting anything from anybody. There's nobody really, no one's waiting on you to be like, yo, Zamar, like, can you, nobody's asking for anything. So it's like, if you take hours, weeks, a month to work on something you're shit at, and at the end of that month, you've been working on that thing for one entire month, you can only get better. There's actually no other direction. Yeah. There's no other direction. It's something you didn't know and have time for, and now you put time to it. There's no other direction than being better than you were the month prior. And if you do that next month, it's the same. And what happens, the best part, when this shit's done, now you have that.
Now you have a new skill.
Like
it is tough.
I don't know, but it's a mentality. You can't, maybe because I see it a certain way, it's very common sense to me, but I know it's not for everybody. I know some people are panicking and stressed and don't have the mental capacity to work on things and don't have desire or the motivation to. I've heard that aspect too, and I respect and I understand it. Yeah. So it's not about anyone having to do anything right now. Yeah. It's if you have the opportunity and the mental capacity to do so, there's literally no excuse.
Yeah, like I definitely don't disagree with anything you're saying, because it's just, I think the fact of the matter is like now everyone's got forced time. Like, everyone just has all this time that we didn't even ask for.
That we complain about.
Yeah, like
I'm so busy. I
didn't ask for this time, so it's very easy. I do understand when people do get upset, but it's like, listen, let's take a step back and let's think about some things here. All right, no one's making any money, and hopefully you'll be able to get something from the government, right? And then maybe you can figure out some situation with your landlord, whatever that looks like. But the bottom line is, no one's working.
Like the definites.
Yeah, no one's working. You might be able to get some money to help you out, but you got all this free time now. Like, some people might say well, I always wanted to travel, but I couldn't do that. Now I can't do that. But it's like, okay, think about something else. Like, you just have all this time. What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to learn? Because now you literally don't have an excuse. Like, that,
there's nothing that you could.
That's the thing, right? It's like, that's really the only thing it comes down to. Is like, look, I understand that this is a shitty time. Take the time you need to understand that this is shitty, but when you're ready, it's like, listen, you literally have all this time, and you don't have any excuses. Because when I ask you, what are you up to? I know you're just home.
We know. We both know.
We both know, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm at home too, but what are you doing? Figure that out. I think my only advice to people in this new time is, not everyone needs to do this, but I'm definitely the type of person where I started writing down a book I keep next to my desk, what I'm going to do today. It doesn't even matter if I know that all I'm going to be doing is editing for 10 hours a day. It's just I like to write things down, so it almost.
Gives you the task?
Yeah, it gives me. I like seeing it, but it also keeps me accountable, because then when I go back, I can look. It's almost like a checker. I can be like, okay, I know I worked on this day, this day. Why am I still shit? What's not changing here, right? So for some people, there's a lot of people that are struggling right now, working from home or being home, and I'm just like,
bro, a lot of people are not comfortable with themselves, man.
That's another conversation for another time.
That is another conversation.
Another conversation for another time.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, other than that, I know you're at home, so you gonna watch this and listen. Probably both. Because you ain't got shit else to do.
You ain't got nothing else to do.
Until when you see us again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
See you guys.
Peace.
Hello?
We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.
We need to talk. We need to talk.